Hello everyone. So this is going to be my first heritage layout for the month of September. The heritage layouts this particular month are going to be this Friday and next Friday because I had a lot of stuff going on earlier in the week or earlier in the month. Okay, so let's talk about photos. Someone had given me a comment last month about that they had a glamour photo. That's what you called it, a glamour photo of her grandma. And she was wondering about scrapbooking that. So I went through my heritage photos, and while I know that there is one of my grandmother that does exist, I think one of my aunts has it, and I'm not sure which one or where it is. So when I went through the photos that I had this one, which is of my great aunt Dorothy. My mom and my aunt, and then my gram too, called her Aunt Dot. And they used to tell me lovely stories about Aunt Dot. So this was as close as I had to a picture of a girl posed pretty, maybe not a glamour shot, but this was about the best that I had. So when I went through my stash to come up with some ideas for how to scrapbook this and what products to use, I came across this collection from Simple Stories called Spring Farmhouse. This was actually gifted to me by another fellow YouTuber, Shannon, who is her YouTube channel is called She's Crafty. Yes. So she gifted me all this product from Simple Stories Spring Farmhouse, and there's a little bit of a story behind it, but I'll save that one between us. And yeah, so I thought that the tones in this collection would work really well with this photograph, and I also thought that since I had a lot of it, that would work really well because Simple Stories tends to be like this cream based, not bright white, and so it doesn't, in my experience, it doesn't play terribly well with other collections that are like white. So I thought I had plenty of this that I could use it, and maybe even use this creamy for a background, or maybe the black, I don't know. And then I have some washi tape, and this gingham is calling my name. So that. I also bought, so the rest, this is all Spring Farmhouse, except for these. So these are from Scrap and Happy Studio, and look at how cute these are. So these are a heritage set of epoxy flare, and they say things that are just beautiful, like family heritage, moment in time, tapestry of life, treasures of yesterday, portraits of the past, generations of love. And I'd really like to use this portraits of the past one for sure, and maybe a couple others, because they really go well with this collection and they really would look lovely with my photo. So that is my plan. Beyond that, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to use. I don't know. So, but that's my plan, and we'll start creating and see where we go. So I'm going to add a little bit of color to the edges of this yellow sheet of paper. I've decided I'm going to use that as my background. I have some vintage photo distress ink, and I'm just using one of my life-changing brushes, and I'm just ever so slightly going around the very edges of the paper. I just want to add a little bit of age to this paper, and I'm going to end up using these distress oxide inks in both vintage photo and antique linen to give everything that nice creamy, a little bit aged, but mostly so they match, because for whatever reason the floral die cuts totally like have bright white halos around them. I've gone through all of the collection of products that I had, and I've pulled out the bits and pieces that I know I want to use. I have my stickers laid out there on my Get Sticky With It Traveler's Notebook insert, so I know exactly what stickers I want to use on my layout. I don't have to be overwhelmed by the huge packet 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I can just pull the stickers that I think I want to use, set them aside, limit my options, which makes scrapbooking so much easier. I knew that I wanted to do a strip of washi and one of the border stickers from the sticker sheet, so I didn't put the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink over the entire layout, just on 3 sides. And now I'm laying that gingham washi out, and I'm going to go ahead and put a strip of that at the bottom of the paper and a strip at the top. For the top of the paper, I'm going to layer over that washi sheet this border sticker from the sticker sheet. Now, I don't understand why we can't make border stickers 12 inches wide, but we can. So this is how I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go ahead and put the sticker down until I get to a spot where I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to put some embellishment, and then I'm going to cut it and leave that little gap in the middle. Works out very well, and then I just know that I need to add an embellishment cluster up there. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the washi tape across the bottom and start to figure out my paper layers. My favorite elements in this collection, besides the florals, are the beautiful ginghams. They're just stunning. So I'm going to see if I can incorporate some of that gingham into this layout. Now, an interesting thing is going to happen here. I like these two together. I'm okay with that, and I've decided I'm going to map my photo in this green. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mat it. I have cut this photo down just a little bit. I always print my photos with a white border. I just find that with my Canon Pixma, if I'm printing at home, a white border is key to getting your photo in the correct aspect ratio and looking the way it looks on your phone or on your computer screen. I generally, if I'm going to print a photo somewhere else, I do it from Persnickety Prints because they have just the best the best photography, I believe. So what I'm going to do now is I lay these out, and I'm not loving it, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. And then I flip it over. Oh, and then I flip the other one over, and now we're cooking. I really loved how these floral papers worked with my photo. I thought that they were perfect. They looked so good like that, and I decided I was just going to run with it, and this was going to be a very girly, floral, fun page. I'm going to take these mats kind of off to the side, and I'm going to pull in my Antique Linen Distress Oxide ink. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some ink around the area where my clusters and where my photos and mats are going to be. I just really like the way that this looks. I'm also going to take the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink and do the edges of the paper layers. This was a fairly quick and easy way to get to do this, and I love the results. I'm going to use my T-square ruler, and that's going to help me get a nice straight line here with these paper layers. And I'm usually not really big on the straight, but on everything being like absolutely perfectly straight. But for some reason, this layout, I felt like I needed to have my paper layers straight. And actually, I think it had to do with my photo. Because if you look at that photo of my Aunt Dorothy, she is like stick straight. And the idea of then making her layout very wonky just seemed not good. So I definitely think my photo had a lot to do with my decision to use my T-square ruler and keep all the layers really straight. So now I'm going through all the flowers, and I have them laid out where I want them, but again, do you see like the crazy white halo? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the edges of all of the die cuts with the Distress Oxide Antique Linen paper. And this is just going to give those halo bright white edges more the tone, give those halos more the tone of the rest of my layout and the rest of the papers. So I'm just going to go here. I have all these florals kind of laid out where I want them. So I'm going to ink them up. I'm going to tuck them back in where they belong. And then I'm going to add some pop dots to some of them for extra dimension. I knew that I really loved this chipboard bicycle and that I really wanted to go ahead and put it in. I had it in a sticker as well, but I decided I would use a chipboard bicycle and a chipboard heart to get the chipboard gone. Because I do have some of the chipboard pieces. I really want to use one of these bows. These bows were super cute. I just felt like they worked so well with my layout. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go back and forth, but I'm going to end up with the black and white check, buffalo check one. Because again, I really loved the checks and the ginghams in this collection. And since I had kind of gotten rid of that black gingham that I really liked on the pattern paper, I thought I would add a couple little pops of it to my embellishment clusters. For these clips, I clipped them onto one of the paper layers and then put a dot of glue on the back. And then I'm also going to cover up some of this because I'm going to add some photo strips to the top to kind of, I didn't really like how the paper clip, you could kind of see the paper clip. I loved the bow, but the idea of the paper clip wasn't the best. So now, since I've already made the rough decisions of what stickers I want to use and put them into that Get Sticky With It insert and then not have to worry about everything else, I'm just going to go through and decide exactly which one of these stickers fits within my clusters. I don't end up using them all in the end, but I do end up using quite a few of them. So I decided that I'm going to take this 4x6 card, which was in one of the little cut-apart sheets. I'm going to cut away the floral around it. I just want that label piece, and that's going to become the perfect home for my title. I'm just going to, initially I thought I wanted a little bit of the black border, but then it looked really funny, so I decided, no, we'll get rid of that. So I'm just going to trim this up a bit. And you can see if you look up where that bow was, I've added those word strips to it. So you still see the bow, you still know it's a bow, but you don't have that funny metal like paper clip looking thing. I don't know. Just a personal preference. I'm sure it would have been fine if I had left it there looking like a clip. But for some reason, it just didn't appeal to me when I was putting this layout together. So I'm going to lay that right in there, tuck it in. Then I'm going to go into my little thickers that are right under my desk, and I'm going to grab a set that I thought would work nicely with the rest of this layout for a title, because I don't have any alphabet stickers. I don't think Simple Stories makes alphabet stickers. I went with these thickers that are called the Main Squeeze thickers because they were gold. They're gold, but they're like that yellowy gold. So I didn't feel like I needed to add more gold to the layout because these were such a yellowy gold that they just worked with the tones I already had. I'm going to add another sticker to the end of that little label piece, and then I'm just going to grab 3 little enamel dots and dot them about that little label piece too, just to bring in the colors that I have going on in all of the other clusters so that this little bit down here doesn't look out of place. I'm taking a peek and deciding, do I need anything else? I've also adhered those epoxy flares. One is up at the top and one is down by the bicycle, and I love how they turned out and they fit in perfectly. I'm going to try out some of these stickers, but decide that they're not going to work, which is totally fine because since they're in that sticky book, I can just pick them up, put them right back on the sticker sheet, and use them in another project, and they're not stuck to my glass mat. All right, everyone, here are some close-ups. I absolutely love how this layout turned out. It is probably one of my all-time favorite layouts. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.